Welcome everybody to this Microsoft 365 feature demo show, whatever we call the show. Doesn't really matter. Once again, we have really cool feature available this time on the Microsoft Viva Connections side. My name is Esa Juvonen. I'll be your host again on this show, but with me is on that side is the real star of today, who's DC Padura. So DC, can you do a quick intro, who you are and what is your role within Microsoft?
Awesome. Thank you very much, Vesa, for hosting me today. My name is Divya Chapan Padur. I go by DC Padur. I am a product manager in the Microsoft Viva Connections team. It's in the SharePoint organization. I've been a PM in SharePoint for about 13 years. I've been in Microsoft for 15 years. Getting to be a veteran of Microsoft very soon. I love working in SharePoint all this time, and really excited about being in the Connections team right now, focusing on delivering excellent employee engagement experiences. And I'm here to talk about a brand new update to our Viva Connections app.
Yes. So can we go a bit before we go to the live demo? So what is Viva Connection? Why does the Viva Connection, why does it matter? What does it actually provide for in the SharePoint world?
Great question. So as you all know, SharePoint has been the backbone of what we call as the intranet industry for a long time. We are a big player. A lot of awesome internets are built on SharePoint, and it serves as a place where employees can engage, be informed, and feel connected. Over the years, with the hybrid world and with the explosion of technology, we reinventing what it means for employees to be engaged. And given that Microsoft Teams is a leading collaboration tool, we wanted to bring those experiences directly into places that people work. An employee engagement app within Teams, whether it's on the desktop or in the mobile experience, good to go, and made it to fit that profile, made to fit that form factor in an effective way and bring important personalized information quickly with the touch of a click, with a touch or a click. That is what Viva Connections is. It is an app experience of your employee engagement platform across your intranet. Bring it into a cohesive app experience, surface the important news, and have a quick action experience for consuming the important content across desktop and mobile.
Yeah, the really important piece is that it adapts on all of those devices for sure. And I use our Microsoft Viva Connection all the time. It is actually really cool. So it is by far the easiest way to, for example, request vacation time and fastest way for accessing relevant news and all of that stuff. So it is really good, and also in a tablet, which is awesome. Now, today we're going to talk about a relatively big change actually on the Viva Connection world. What's really the topic? What's changing now within the Viva Connection?
Yeah, so we are upgrading the product. That's how I would position this entire change. Viva Connections, as I mentioned, is our window into the employee engagement experience in the Teams application, across all the form factors, mobile, desktop, and tablet. And one important vehicle where communication happens, and we are promoting that aggressively, is what's called a SharePoint News. SharePoint News has been a backbone of our communication offering for a very long time. And now we are bringing the SharePoint News front and center into the Connections experience with a brand new News tab. This is upgrading the existing feed experience that we've all seen. The feed was a mix of different content type info updates for a specific person. We've had to reimagine this experience based on customer feedback and usage and how really the tech works in here. We decided to pivot to bringing the best of SharePoint News experience into the Viva Connections platform.
Yeah. And again, really making it easy for frontline workers, for example, accessing the latest news and really quickly and easily access the summary of the news as well.
Exactly. Right? And the interesting thing here is we've tried to find the right balance of what kind of news shows up in here. So now I'm going to bring you into this news tab. As you can see, this is a brand new layout of how news content is shown in here. And you will see that there's a bunch of news items. And the first question is, what are these news items? These are important news items for a given person. This is what the system is tracking the user that is logged in this tenant, for example. We are logged in as DC in this tenant, for example, and this is the system-driven news based on the sites I follow, the sites I frequently visit, the trending sites in this organization, and the people that I work with. And best of all, if you have a home site or an organizational news site or boosted news within the organization, those news items get stacked ranked on the top. So indirectly, corporate communicators have impact on what news is seen by using the boost feature and using organizational sites to publish news. And those items will show up at the top, and then team news is shown in a ranked way below that news items in here.
So it's combining kind of the best of both worlds. So it's showing the relevant stuff for you, but within the corporate kind of a shell. So
Yes.
giving that control still.
Yes. And one thing we are very excited about to introduce is there is a lot of news, and we want to bring the Copilot capabilities to bear on these news functionality. And we have this Copilot summary button. So essentially a quick way to catch up on the top news items by getting an AI generated one-line summary of the news items. And whichever piques your interest, you can click on it and continue reading in there. And let me give you, I'll get to the demo quickly here. And I'm very excited to show that off. So as you can see, the AI system is capturing the list of news items and gathering the resources and generating that summary that will be presented to the user. These are individual news item summaries. And you can see that each item is referenced and the summary for those items are shown up in here. As you can see, I'm thinking, there is a conference, and maybe that's a news item that I might want to read. That sounds good. It's promoting an upcoming conference. I want to read more about it, and I can quickly identify it in my feed in here. Click on that, and as you can see, the new Viva Connections app is just bringing the news content and rendering. I'm staying within the context of Viva Connections with a quick way of consuming the most important content, which is the news content itself. I can quickly consume, scroll all the way to the bottom, like and comment, and save this for later. I might want to come back later and check out what's going on with this conference. And if I want to get back to my news, I click on this button to get back to the same feed experience and start exploring more news items in there.
Yep. Super convenient and easy way to accessing all of the information. And again, for those, just to kind of a recap, all of these news are coming from multiple different sites where the person has access, but there's no news which the person cannot access. So all of the permissions and everything apply.
That's right, Vesa. So important factor in here is even though it is user personalized news across the tenant, it is still only governed by the permissions that are already set. So if this person does not have access to news, it will not get shown. And if a news item is targeted for the user, it automatically gets shown. And news that is not targeted for you is automatically filtered out as well. And we've also done the work where news link news items are uniquely displayed in here. As we can see, some of these news items are SharePoint news items. So you click on it and you can consume it within the app and get back to consuming more. But you will see the first item in here now that's a fresh news item that's shown up here is, hey, you see the up arrow that indicates that this is a news link item. This is the SharePoint news functionality where external news items can be posted as SharePoint news, and it shows up to the end user as an item that will open in a new tab. I click on it, and now you have a browser experience that will load that news item for consumption. But this is the way where external news like LinkedIn news or any other industry news that's relevant to your organization can be surfaced in this feed experience.
Yeah. So yes, exactly. Like the Microsoft news from Microsoft.com website could be included then for your employees and all of that. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Absolutely.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And each of these cards has the option where users can quickly directly link like the item from there or save it for later. And there is a save for later tab in here where you can get back to all your saved items for consumption later on. And these experiences will transcend between desktop and mobile. You can save on desktop and view it, look at it in the mobile when you're on the go, or you save it on the mobile and you come back to your desk and have a more relaxed consumption experience from your desktop.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Really cool. This is a great capability for sure. And of course, these are the same features and functionalities which you said there for linking. It's the same likes which are actually in the SharePoint page as well. So it actually is the same page.
Exactly.
And analytics and everything else is still the same. So it's from that article.
Yes, it's directly to that article. It is basically surfacing those social gestures from the page directly onto a card experience in this feed. It is basically the full page feed experience in here. So all the analytics will work. If you have special tracking on individual pages, all of that will work as well within the context of Viva Connections when it loads the news item.
Excellent, excellent. So let's go back on the discussion mode a bit, just to kind of a double check. We showed now the feature in the desktop experience, so that was a desktop demo. What about the mobile and tablets? Is that coming at the same time, or is it rolling out a bit different time frame of what's happening there?
Yeah, so this is from a product perspective, the desktop and mobile are working together, and we are working on it and have the same scope in mind. But because it's a large feature and the technology dependence on how mobile rolls out, the long story short is desktop will roll out first and then followed by a mobile rollout. So we are expecting to start the GA rollout of this experience in March. So maybe we'll get to mobile in April and complete the full rollout going into late April or early May. So a
Cool.
couple of months of rollout, but it's tracked in the same roadmap item, and we'll very soon have a message center post about this rollout as well, which will call out more details.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. What about the other feature stuff? Do we have already something what we can talk about on the feature next steps on the news? This is already a big change, obviously, and the Copilot feature, I love it. Really, really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, well, more Copilot stuff obviously are things that I'm excited to. We're working on it right now. I can't share specific details, but definitely more Copilot charged experiences are coming. We are doubling down on SharePoint News as an important vehicle for delivering content to end users, be it in an information worker setting or as a frontline worker setting. We love using SharePoint News, and we want our customers to use SharePoint News because of how great the consumption experience is and how easy it is for people to discover discover the content and the value of Viva Connections as the app. So yeah,
Yeah.
more enhancements coming. And if you all are interested in specific experiences, please comment in our blog post where this video shows up, and we'll be sure to pay attention and add it to our backlog and prioritize and get that done. But we do have a
Absolutely.
bunch of new feature work that we're working on, many of them Copilot influenced, Copilot driven. And
Yep.
coming up in the M365 conference, if you are at the conference, it'll be a great place to come see what's next with SharePoint News coming in there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, the most important thing is that there's feedback. So please comment on the video, comment on the blog post, give us feedback on what you like, what works, what doesn't work. Super important signal for us where we're investing as well.
Yeah. One thing I will take head on, and this is a comment that many of you might. Hey, the previous feed used to show engage content, and where do I go for engage content? Viva engage content. And it's a great question. It's an important, and this is by no means where engage and SharePoint go and separate. This actually we are re-strategizing and coming together. The idea here, and very soon we have more Viva Engage items that we will be talking about in the same podcast that Vesa has. Will bring in experience in there. So we're thinking of Viva Microsoft Teams as the overarching app where all engagement experiences happen, and Viva
Yeah.
Engage has bespoke experiences where storylines are natively available within Teams, and more of the Viva Engage content will start showing up in the Home tab as well, and we'll have some features we'll announce soon about that. And
Yeah.
SharePoint News is just focusing on the news aspect of employee engagement and brings the SharePoint experiences in there. So this is more about predictability and control and having clear separation between what is this about and what is a home tab about. And would love to get more feedback on from you all as well. But yeah, this is something we are closely watching and considering for the future.
Yeah. Excellent, excellent. But really great feature. I'm looking forward on all of the feedback, and thank you, DC, for joining on the show to demonstrate the functionality and power what the new feature is having.
Thank you very much, Vesa. Thank you for hosting me, and I look forward to all the usage and the feedback.
Sounds good. Thanks, DC. Cheers.